I'm going to be showing you how we can get a 7-segment display working with the Arduino boards that we're using in the module. So we've got two different types of 7-segment displays, and both of them work in a very similar way. So overall there are two different types of 7-segment displays that exist. You can get some which are a common anode and others which are a common cathode. So basically a common ground terminal or a common voltage terminal going to them. The ones that we have a common voltage terminal going to them, which means that it's a little bit awkward in how you use it. You'd think that what we would do is we'd be attaching a ground to our common element on these boards, and then from that we would be able to get an Arduino to do a digital write of high to these, which would make it turn on, and then a digital write of low to get it to turn off. That's not what we do in this case. What we actually do is we take current from our Arduino board, probably from the 5-volt pin, and we pass that into the common element on our 7-segment display. Then what we do is we set our pins to be off anytime, or to be low anytime that we want a segment to light up, and we set our pin to be high anytime that we want a segment to not be shown. So what we're doing is we are grounding the actual digital I/O pins instead of using the ground pin on the board, and that's how we're able to use that as a way to light these up. So I'm going to show you how we can wire this up and get it working. What I've done here is I've loaded up the spec sheet for this. The way that you find the spec sheet, what you want to do is you want to have a look on the side of whatever component it is you're using. It might be a bit difficult to see there, but it tells you what the actual kind of information, or the actual codes are for the device. So on this one it says Kingsbright SA8T11EWA. That's just what I googled, and I managed to find this. So we can see that from this diagram here is showing me all of the different things I need to know about this 7-segment display and how it works. So we can see that my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 segments, so those match up with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 segment displays, and then the little dot in the corner all work through these pins here. And then my common positive terminal pins are 3, 5, 11, and 16. And you can see on this diagram here, it shows you the position of all of these pins. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to write a little bit of a sketch for Arduino to get this initially working. So I'll set up this pin. So I'll do pin mode 2 output. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say digital write to high, delay of a second, digital write to low, delay of a second. Okay, I'm going to send this to the board just now. Let's just check that board is definitely connected. Tools, board is there, port is that one there. Okay, we'll upload that. Okay, so while that's compiling, I'll explain what we've actually got set up on the board just now. So you can see that on the board I've got a lot of things already set up here. What I've done is I've got wires connected to pins 2 through 8, and I've got these coming across onto the breadboard, and then each of these is going through a 330 ohm resistor. The reason I'm doing that is just because I don't want to blow up these displays while I'm using them. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this into the board here, and I'm going to ground that, or I'm going to give the LED display a bit of voltage through it. So I'm going to take another black wire, so this is going from my 5 volts across into one of my power lines. I'm going to take another one going across from there, and then put it into, I think it is this one here. Okay, so nothing's happening so far. So what I've done with this sketch is I've set it up so that it's going to blink on pin 2, and it's going to be high for a second and low for a second. What we'd expect to see is that the pin would be showing the LED lighting up any time that is on low. So I'm going to take a wire here, and then what I can do is I'm just going to run it through all these different pins in here so that I can start to figure out what each of these is, okay? Because I need to be able to match up what, just check that all of these work for starters. So I'll just start putting these along, and we'll see that every now and again you'll see one of these starts blinking. So that's showing that it's working. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's that dot down there. And we'll go up here. It's maybe more difficult to see. 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we know that we've got all 7 segments for our display, and we know that they all work. So what I need to do now is match up these 7 segments to the pins that we're going to be using for them. So to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a little diagram here that matches the same as my display. And all I'm going to do is write the number of the pin that I'm attaching things to. So the first pin I'm going to be attaching things to is pin number 8. But I don't have that one coded in just now, so I'm just going to test this out with pin number 2. So it's going to be this one here. Okay, so that one is going to go on pin number 8, so I'll stick that wire in properly there, move this one up so that it is wired into pin 8, and then I'll draw a little 8 beside that so that I know that that's pin 8. We can go down and do the rest of these as well, and this is what I'll need to do now to make sure that all of these are working properly and we've got all the right numbers in place. Okay, so that's pin number 7, is this one here. The next one is going to be going for pin number 6. There we go, so that one works as well. What one was that again? That was that side one there. Okay, pin number 6. Okay, the next one. So this one's going to be for pin number 5. There we go. Pull that one up to there. Pin number 5. Okay, the next one is for pin number 4. We won't bother with the dot. There we go, there's pin number 4. Okay, the next one is for pin number 3. So it should be up here somewhere. I think it's going to be this one here. There we go. That's pin number 3. And then finally, pin number 2 should just be this one going up and into here, hopefully. There we go. Okay, so now I should have all of these wires lined up, and I know that I've got them all into the right pins. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a method which is going to be used to light up all of these pins. So I'm going to call this method all on. Okay. And then I'll say digital write to low. And I'm just going to copy and paste that line. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'll make another version of this, which is going to be all off. All off. High. Oh, if I can spell. Okay, so now instead of saying digital write to high, I'm going to say all on, and instead of digital write, I'll say all off. Okay, so now I'll upload that to the sketchboard, and hopefully we should see all 8 of these segments lighting up. Oh, right, so the reason that's not worked is because, let's upload that again and see why it's not behaving. All these resistors seem to be fine, so why is that not behaving? So the reason that wasn't working was because I've only set the pin mode for pin number 2. What I'll need to do now is set the pin mode for the rest of these pins, so that we actually know what they're for. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's upload that again and see what happens this time. It uploads, and there we go. All of a sudden we're getting the majority of our pins are working. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there's only one which isn't working, which is one that's attached to pin number 4. Why are you not behaving? So pin number 4 is coming across on this green wire, pulling across to here. There we go, that seems to be working now. Okay, so we've got all of our LEDs working. So now what I need to do is I need to write a few more things, which are going to be taking... It's going to be taking the values from this and actually making different numbers. So I'm going to write a few more functions to be able to do this. I'm just going to call this one void 0. And I know that inside of 0, what I'm going to do is I need to use all of these. Okay, so to create a 0, what I want to do is I want to have all of these ones around the outside little, but not number 7. So what I'm going to do is change that to a high, and then that should create a 0 for me anytime I call that function now. I'll do number 1. And with 1, I want just 8 and 6 to be on and the rest to be off. So I'll keep that one as high, 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 and high. Okay. Oops, put that away. There we go. The next one is going to be a number 2. And with number 2, what I want is I'm going to, this is a little bit reverse for you, but I want to have 2, 8, 7, 4, and 5 on, so 6 and 3 will be off. Low, high, low, low, high. Okay. And then finally, I'll just do number 3. So let's copy that down to here. 3, and with the number 3, I'll be wanting 2, 8, 7, 6, and 5 on, and 3 and 4 to be off. So I change 3 to high, that to low, and that to high. Okay, so now what I'm going to do inside of here is instead of having all on and all off, I'm going to change that to 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's upload that to the board and see what it does. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's showing all the numbers properly. Perfect. Okay, so from this you should then be able to create functions that will display the rest of the numbers, and then from that you'll then be able to use that in your code. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a little bit of an insight into how you can use these. Remember, the first thing you want to do is you want to check to see what type of a 7-segment display you've got, whether it's got a common anode or a common cathode. So do you need to ground all the pin or ground the common pin, or do you need to apply voltage to the current pin? All of the ones that we've got in the department are ones that you want to apply voltage to the current pin. And then remember and also use your resistors. 330 resistors work really well for this. So 330 is orange, orange, brown. We've got a lot of them, so you should just be able to take as many of them as you need to get it working.